this year. So what does she do? She does what any spoiled kid does when they're not getting enough attention.
The spotlight brings big expectations, and any player who wants constant attention has to prove it on the court. Hype and headlines can only go so far before real performance becomes the true measure. So, what happens when the image of a once-in-a-generation star runs into the reality of basic basketball fundamentals? What happens when the game itself doesn't match the story being promoted? Right now, it looks like the focus is shifting from performance to excuses, but the game footage is revealing a completely different picture.
See, when Caitlin Clark shoots 3 for 13, we're missing shots from 30 feet. When Caitlin Clark has a bad shooting night, we're getting guarded full court and we're missing threes. When Angel Reese has a bad shooting day, she's not getting guarded at all and we're missing.
What we're seeing is a clear double standard that is creating a bigger divide in basketball media. The way some stars are covered is completely different from everyone else. When Caitlin Clark has an off game, the conversation quickly turns to tough defense, poor floor spacing, or the demands of a long rookie season, with analysts carefully explaining every challenge she faced. But when you watch the recent game against Chicago, those explanations don't seem to fit. The problem wasn't heavily contested three-pointers or smart defensive schemes that forced difficult shots. Instead, it was repeated misses on simple scoring opportunities that raise real questions for a player who is constantly promoted as an MVP-caliber talent. Every great player has bad shooting nights, but the bigger concern was the inconsistent and awkward shooting mechanics behind those misses. Even more surprising is how the media and the league appear to shift attention away from those struggles, especially the mistakes happening right at the rim, making the entire conversation feel increasingly one-sided.
What we got rolling? Angel Reese, mouse in the house.
Oh, easy.
Easy. Bloopy.
Let's look at the game footage, because it tells the story without any spin. In basketball, a mouse in the house means a bigger offensive player has a much smaller defender trapped under the basket, creating one of the easiest scoring chances possible. In that situation, the expectation is simple. Catch the pass, protect the ball, and finish at the rim. But instead, the player repeatedly misses shots that should normally be routine. More importantly, this isn't just a one-time mistake. Watching multiple games reveals a pattern of missed close-range opportunities. Many people have promoted this rookie class as being ready to dominate immediately, but success in the paint depends on touch, solid footwork, and knowing how to use angles effectively. When uncontested or lightly defended layups are missed over and over, it naturally raises questions about player development and fundamental skills. Yet pointing out those mistakes has become surprisingly controversial. Instead of simply acknowledging a missed layup, critics often feel pressured to soften their comments because many fans are more focused on defending personalities online than discussing what actually happened on the court.
Show us these. No, don't get away from that.
Oh yeah, let's see.
One more time, shall we?
Yeah, let's shout. We shall.
Oh my God, Reese again.
It becomes frustrating to watch when a player is right under the basket, keeps missing easy putbacks, and ends up collecting multiple offensive rebounds from those same missed shots. While that may boost individual stats, it doesn't always help the team score or win. More fans are beginning to notice the growing gap between the hype surrounding certain players and what is actually happening on the court. Some argue that high rebound totals automatically make someone a superstar, but they overlook how many of those rebounds come from missed close-range attempts. There's an important difference between putting up a lot of numbers and playing efficiently. In today's game, efficiency matters most. When a player struggles to finish easy shots in the paint, it hurts the team's offense by wasting valuable possessions. Instead of focusing on shooting percentages, finishing ability, and overall efficiency, much of the media conversation shifts elsewhere. Discussions about inconsistent footwork, limited post moves, or difficulty finishing with the weaker hand are often pushed aside. When on-court performance doesn't fully support the superstar image, the attention often moves to a different topic instead of addressing those issues directly.
Both to kindergarten level for her next game. How can I distract from this? I know. Tell everyone that Sandy Brondello made a racist comment.
Deflection can be a powerful way to shift attention when the box score highlights weaknesses on the court. The recent media discussion involving New York Liberty head coach Sandy Brondello became an example of how quickly the focus can move away from basketball. After the game, Brondello made comments about the officiating and the physical style of play in the paint, the kind of observations coaches across professional sports often make. However, those remarks quickly sparked a much larger debate, with some people interpreting them as biased or offensive rather than simply basketball analysis. As a result, the conversation moved away from on-court performance and toward controversy. Critics argue that when discussions become centered on motives instead of statistics, shooting efficiency, or overall play, it becomes easier for poor performances to receive less attention than they otherwise would. A player never has to stand in front of the media and explain repeated missed layups against smaller defenders if the conversation quickly shifts to claims of unfair treatment instead. The focus moves away from poor shooting percentages and on-court performance to debates about criticism and controversy. Some believe this is an effective public relations strategy because it makes analysts, commentators, and even opposing coaches more cautious about offering honest evaluations, fearing backlash on social media. As a result, valid basketball criticism can become softer, and the expectations for elite performance may gradually decline. Instead of focusing on fundamentals and results, the discussion often centers on off-court drama. However, fans who closely watch the games rely on what they see on the court. A disappointing performance cannot be erased by headlines or press conferences because the game footage and official statistics remain. Looking at the numbers from the Chicago matchup, they show a player who is still having difficulty adjusting to the speed, size, and disciplined defense of the professional level.
Angel Reese blows the layup per usual, and then with her classic move, cries and undercuts Elizabeth Williams, claiming
this sequence may be the biggest turning point of the game and possibly one of the most talked about moments of the season because it highlights many of the issues surrounding today's WNBA discussions. The play begins with another missed layup, something that has happened several times, but the real focus is what happens next. Instead of immediately getting back on defense to stop the fast break, the player makes contact with Elizabeth Williams before turning to the officials in search of a foul call. Moments like this deserve close attention because undercutting a player in the air is considered one of the most dangerous actions in basketball. It can lead to serious injuries and even end a player's season. When a defender establishes legal position and contests a shot properly, they should be able to land safely. Extending a leg, moving into a defender's landing area, or trying to draw a foul in that situation is not only poor basketball but can also create an unnecessary safety risk. Some critics argue that star players often receive more favorable treatment because of their popularity and the attention they bring to the league. They believe officials can face added pressure, whether intentional or not, when making calls involving the biggest names. As a result, plays that might be ruled an offensive foul, or even reviewed for a more serious penalty if committed by a lesser-known player, may be judged differently when a marquee player is involved. This perception has led to frustration among some players and fans, who feel that the rules should be applied the same way to everyone. Veteran players who have spent years earning respect through consistent performance can become frustrated when they believe similar plays are officiated differently, depending on who is involved. Supporters of this view argue that maintaining consistent officiating is essential because equal enforcement of the rules helps protect competitive balance and preserves confidence in the fairness of the game.
Defender goes straight up and down. Angel kicks her right leg out of nothing between the defender's legs, then falls into her. This should have been an offensive foul. She's just proving Sandy's point. Refs protecting her, letting her do.
The game footage tells its own story. On this play, the defender appears to maintain a legal vertical position by going straight up with both arms, which is the standard technique taught for protecting the paint. Defenders are trained to absorb contact with their body, stay vertical, and force the offensive player into a difficult shot. Critics argue that, instead of finishing through the defense, the offensive player creates extra body movement in an attempt to draw a foul. They believe the contact looks exaggerated and is intended to influence the official's decision. When a foul is called in those situations, it can leave fans frustrated because they would rather see scoring come from skill, strong footwork, smart decision-making, and clean execution than from attempts to earn calls through exaggerated contact. Many fans would rather watch basketball decided by skill and execution than by a steady stream of free throws created through exaggerated contact. Critics argue that when officials reward those plays too often, it can encourage habits that rely more on drawing fouls than improving scoring ability. They believe players should be rewarded for developing strong post moves, better finishing, and efficient shot making instead of depending on trips to the free throw line to boost their scoring totals. This also connects to the broader debate about efficiency, because a respectable point total can sometimes hide an inefficient shooting performance. A stat line showing 12 points may look solid at first, but it tells a different story if it required many missed field goal attempts and several disputed foul calls. Supporters of this view say that once you examine the full game footage, shooting percentages, and advanced statistics, it becomes much easier to judge a player's overall impact beyond the final box score.
Wide open, like how do we roll our ankle when there's absolutely nobody near us? Like how uncoordinated must you be to roll your ankle when there's literally nobody near you?
The game reached its most dramatic moment with a completely open scoring chance. There was no defender applying pressure and no difficult shot to make, yet the opportunity still ended with a rolled ankle and another missed finish. No one wants to see any player get injured, and every athlete deserves a full and speedy recovery. At the same time, from a basketball perspective, the sequence naturally raises questions about balance, coordination, and body control during the play. At the professional level, players are expected to move efficiently, stay under control, handle contact, and finish consistently around the basket. When an uncontested opportunity ends in a missed shot and an awkward landing, it becomes part of the overall discussion about execution and fundamentals. For critics, the play serves as another example of the importance of skill development, body control, and consistent technique, especially when expectations and attention surrounding a player are extremely high. Playing with speed and effort is important, but without strong fundamentals, it becomes difficult to perform even the simplest basketball plays consistently. Basic layup technique, including using the correct footwork and finishing with the proper hand, is taught early because it improves balance, protects the ball, and increases the chance of scoring. When those fundamentals are missing at the professional level, it can lead to missed shots, unnecessary turnovers, lost scoring opportunities, and even injuries caused by poor body control. The pace and physicality of the professional game leave very little room for technical mistakes. Hard work and athletic ability alone are not enough. Consistent success also depends on polished skills, sound mechanics, and disciplined execution, and critics argue those areas still need significant improvement. 3 made shots on 13 attempts are the official numbers, and those statistics cannot be changed by opinions or debates. Fans can disagree about media coverage, officiating, or post-game comments, but the box score remains the same. For a frontcourt player who takes most of their shots close to the basket, that level of shooting efficiency is widely viewed as disappointing because missed opportunities in the paint can reduce the team's overall offensive production. Rebounding numbers also deserve proper context. Offensive rebounds are valuable, but if several of them come after repeatedly missing point-blank shots on the same possession, the raw totals may not fully reflect the quality of the performance. Looking beyond the final stat line and considering both efficiency and game impact provides a more complete picture of how a player actually performed. Poor shooting performances can sometimes make a player's overall statistics look better than the game itself suggests, especially when extra rebounds come from repeated missed attempts on the same possession. Height and effort are valuable qualities, but at the professional level, consistent finishing around the basket is an essential skill. The larger issue is how these performances are discussed. Supporters of this view argue that pointing out a 3 for 13 shooting night or several unforced turnovers is simply normal sports analysis, not a personal attack. Every major athlete faces criticism when they struggle, whether it's an NBA star after a poor shooting game, an NFL quarterback following costly interceptions, or a top WNBA player dealing with defensive pressure. By that standard, they believe every high-profile player should be evaluated using the same level of accountability. Holding a player to the same expectations as other stars recognizes them as a true professional capable of handling both praise and criticism. With the spotlight, attention, and expectations that come with being promoted as a top player also comes the responsibility of performing under pressure and accepting honest analysis when the results fall short. Players who embrace the national spotlight, sign major endorsement deals, and become the center of the basketball conversation also face greater expectations and closer scrutiny. When performances fall short, critics argue that the discussion should stay focused on what happens during the game rather than shifting to outside controversies or claims of unfair treatment. Basketball is decided on the court, where execution, consistency, and results matter most. The statistics, game footage, and overall performance provide the clearest picture of how a player actually played. For many fans, the real question is whether the conversation should continue revolving around excuses and outside factors or return to the fundamentals of the game, where players are expected to make routine plays and deliver under pressure. Ultimately, every viewer can decide for themselves after watching the performance and reviewing the results.